Hey, Brown Eye.
Hey, what's up, man?
Doing good. We're in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
The 22nd floor of somewhere in Hong Kong.
Yeah, nice, awesome Japanese restaurant.
Awesome.
Yeah, so today's subject we're going to talk about really far away, way up northern China.
Far northeast.
Yeah, really cold. It's going to be like freezing.
Now, not so cold, but it does get pretty cold, yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about Expat from Australia. Hey, how are you going?
Doesn't matter where I'm from.
Yes.
Because in Dandong, I'm the only expat.
Awesome. So he's the only expat in Dandong, and that's pretty amazing.
Dandong, China, yeah.
So like I always travel like the southern part of China, so I know pretty much everything, the weather, the climate, and everything. And like a couple of years ago, I drove to northern China, to Heilongjiang, and I drove my little truck and went way up north from Dalian, Shenyang, and then to Harbin. That was like the biggest city, right?
Yeah, it's big.
And
it's cold.
Yeah, and I tried to drink some water, you know, I had some bottled water.
Yeah.
And all the bottles froze up and I couldn't drink the water.
Inside your car, right?
Yeah, inside the car. So so I need...
It's pretty normal.
Yeah, and I need flask, you know, I put water in a flask.
Yeah.
So so I can drink it, it won't get frozen, you know.
It's I was just there a couple of months ago. It does get cold, yeah. We went for the ice festival, and it gets to minus 25 degrees Celsius, and that's
already warm.
That's a good day.
Yeah,
that's a good day.
We went that night, and it was minus 40 core temperature. It wasn't a wind chill.
Yeah.
Because we were like, that day was really cold, and it was surrounded with ice.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it was terrible.
How many layers were you wearing? Bottom and top, how many?
Oh, everything. Everything, man. Like, I was trying to take pictures, and the lens, you know, it's so cold that the camera really fast. You know, you have to
dies.
Yeah. So you have to keep it inside your jacket.
Same with your phone as well. Yeah. You walk around the street in Harbin.
Yeah.
And you find new techniques on how your phone can survive for at least 4 hours.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rowan, can you tell me like what's the deal with the place in Shenyang? You're from Dandong. So Dandong, the real northern part. Maybe can you tell my subscribers and friends what's happening up there? What's special, you know, that you stay there, the only expat there?
So what makes Dandong a little famous and what puts it on the map is that Dandong is the border town city. And it's also a fun fact. It's the largest border town city of China in the northeast, and it's right next to North Korea.
Wow.
So you have a lot of Korean mixed ethnic living in Dandong, about 10,000 of them, and the general population of Dandong as a whole is 2 million.
Wow. So they are actually North Korean people that went to Dandong, to mainland China?
There's a lot of North Koreans. It's Dandong, not to say that they a lot go there to live there, but Dandong is just a hub. So most of the Koreans who do travel, they will travel through Dandong because that's where the train goes through. And they'll stay overnight and they'll make their way onto Shenyang, Dalian, Beijing, Shanghai.
Wow. So is it legally or illegally?
Legally.
Legally.
Yeah. Dandong is a very close watched city, so you'll find a lot of Chinese police everywhere. You got the border patrol along the Yalujiang, and that's the river that divides Dandong and North Korea from each other. That river runs all the way from Cheongbaisan, or Mount Pektu, that's in Jilin province.
Oh yeah, I heard that Cheongbaisan is like really sacred, you know. They said all the Kims were born there, and even the South Koreans, they go all the way to China just to go on the China side to see the lake, the old volcanic lake, right?
So the North Koreans say that's where Kim Jong-il was born, but all the Koreans, like the North Koreans and the South Koreans, that's where they say it's like a mythical sort of like a fairy tale story that you tell your kids, but it's where they say all the Koreans descended from heaven onto earth. So Mount Pektu was like the receiving beacon for the Koreans that were arriving onto Earth. So that's why you see a lot of South Koreans going on the Chinese side, but they can't travel on the North Korean side. Yeah.
All South Koreans are banned to go to North Korea. They're forbidden to go to North Korea, which is sad.
Yeah, that's right.
After the war, the big World War, you know, I think they got separated. The families got separated, and they can't have a reunion. You know, that's really sad. You know?
It's really painful, and there's only a couple of hundred South Koreans and North Koreans that have been separated who are still living these days, but it happened a long time ago. I mean, the DMZ that exists today was made in 1953, so that's some quite time now. And they're getting old and dying. And right now, political tensions between the two aren't good. So usually they host. Have you seen Mount Kumgang, where they get the families from the south into the north, so they can meet each other again? But it's only for lunch, and after that, that's it.
Relatively, you just have a lunch and haven't seen for so many, like 20, 30 years or something like that.
It's pretty sad, yeah.
You know, when they're almost dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad, man.
So the North and South governments, they all prevent each other's citizens from visiting each other.
Yeah. So what do you eat in Dandong, man? What's the food like?
You want me to say dog meat? I know.
Yeah, dog meat. Yeah, because all my subscribers, you know, when you mention dog meat, they're really sensitive. You know, do you eat dogs? You know. But you know, I was talking during lunch. We were talking about the dogs. Have I ever tried? Actually, I had never ever tried dogs because I believe they have a soul. You know, like us, we have a soul.
Well, every animal has a soul. I mean, like pigs have a soul, cows have a soul. But dogs, for those who haven't tried dog meat before, who are a little curious, I would say it would taste a little like lamb. But you can do a lot with dog. Like the Chinese usually boil it. I'm not a big fan of boiling dog meat, but if I were to eat it, Korean barbecue for dog meat is really good. So there is that option in Dandong, but it's not very popular.
Yeah.
Because it's a diet, like many of the younger generations aren't interested in.
Yeah, I think it's just an old traditional
you
thing, you know. Younger generations, they have pets for dogs nowadays. That's pretty popular, you know.
Yeah, so.
Exotic.
You got a dog?
Yeah, I have a dog.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I had a dog, but I ate it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
but for food in Dandong,
you're gonna get hate, okay?
I'll get hate. Dislike if you don't like me. But for food in Dandong, there's a really good Korean from both North, South, and Chinese Korean dishes in Dandong. I really like South Korean. There's a big difference between South Korean food and North Korean food. South Korean food is like being mixed up with like some other sort of influences from the Western side of stuff. North Korean is like typical tradition Korean food, how it was a long time ago. And the Chinese Korean, they've sort of influenced, like there's a lot more bigger dishes. Yeah, they make big dishes, and it's good. Like each is defined. If you're trying it for the first time, you won't know which is which, but it's good. So access to Korean food, access to Japanese food. I think the best Japanese food in China. We got this one in Hong Kong, but the best would be in Dandong, and it's super cheap. It's fresh. You have a lot of Japanese people that pass through, and so they've set up these little bars and stores. It's really good.
Yeah, that'd be fun, right?
Yeah.
So it's
great.
Japanese and Korean food, and you get the South Korean food, and you get the North Korean food in Dandong.
Yep.
Japanese food.
Yep.
And what's the local food, like Chinese food, then in Dandong?
Barbecue.
So it's because I think it's really cold, so everybody just sits around and have a barbecue.
Yep, and even during summer, you see people on the streets everywhere.
So you're from Australia, so do you put a shrimp on a barbie?
Oh God, kill me. But I do. To be fair, I do like a good barbecue.
Yeah.
And Dandong's quite famous for it. You get a lot of Chinese tourists that will come to Dandong. They'll look at the border of North Korea. That's as close as a lot of tourists will get, and then they have barbecues.
Yeah.
And you have seafood, lamb, beef. It's
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the barbecue, what skewers would they make, or is it same as the North and South Korea? They have the round barbecue and the charcoal on the bottom, and you cook your meat on top.
Yeah, that's it. You get the metal skewers,
okay.
so they recycle it after use, and you just cook it yourself. You usually, if you're inside, there's a big vent that's hanging just above the table, and it sucks all the exhaust and smoke up. It's good.
Okay. So I think in North America, pretty popular nowadays, and they're gaining momentum. And
Korean barbecue.
Yeah, Korean barbecue. So it's pretty much more original, like in Dandong, right?
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So and the thing is, you're the only expat, and you'll be monitored pretty closely. Do you feel that?
You'd think so,
but border patrols and
not at all. Like when I go for a run along the river that divides the two countries, I see the soldiers. They just look at me and go, "Oh, there's a foreigner." Or like, "Oh, there he is again." Like,
but you can see North Korea from where you are.
I can see North Korea from my house.
Really?
I can see it from my house.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So you can pick up some TV stations and radio stations.
I got North Korea. My TV picks up North Korean TV. My radio, I bought a radio just for this, like who listens to the radio anymore? But my radio does pick up North Korean.
Wow.
Yeah, and both the TV and the radio aren't constantly on. It's not a 24/7 service. It's only available during certain hours, which is pretty cool. So every time I have visitors come over, my friends, some family, we just pop on North Korean TV just for the fun of it.
Just for the fun of it.
Just watch it, yeah.
Pretty, they sound like you watch the TV from South Korea, and they're just like really polite, like, you know. But when you see North Korean television, they're really formal and
very
really
formal, but
aggressive.
still.
They speak in an aggressive way. Is it how they speak?
You're thinking of the news reporter, yeah?
Yeah.
She gets really excited when something big has happened, like a new missile launch or something that signifies North Korea's technology and war advancement. But a lot of the time, it's very much the same as any other Northeast sort of Asian channels. It's very polite, you know, welcome to the news, and it continues on. But yeah, it's
interesting.
Yeah.
So what is the main reason that you go all the way from Australia, and China's so big, right? So what makes you go to Dandong, like the real tip of the iceberg, you know, in China?
Well, luckily for me, I am one of the few that does have access to North Korea. So I'm a tour guide, and I take people to North Korea and show them around.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's so being based in Dandong, it's pure advantage of me not having to travel so far for work. And it gives me a good chance to learn Chinese and Korean.
So there's a train station that goes from Dandong to right into North Korea, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Right into Pyongyang. So you can take the train from Beijing or from Dandong. So Beijing being the capital, or Dandong right into Pyongyang.
Oh, great.
Yeah, which is North Korea's capital.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap it up.
Cool.
Yeah. So I hope you guys have a, you know, awesome day, and we're gonna wrap it up.
All right. Cool. So bye, guys.
Bye. So I've got a shot. Actually, I've shrunk. So now I'm about 3 feet tall. And look how tall is this guy? So, look, I'm just a baby.
I'm
you know.
I'm normal in Hong Kong. I'm an average height in Hong Kong.
Yeah, right on, bro. So anyway, it was nice talking about expat in China, living in Dandong, all the way north. And thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for talking about Dandong, all the way from Australia. Yeah. Okay. So relax, enjoy, like, and share. And I'll see you guys next time. Okay? Give us likes. Okay? Bye bye.